Okay, hi everybody, Chris Ward from the UK. I also have the nickname of the Rod Doctor, given to me many years ago, and has something to do with the fact I play with and repair rods. Here today with Team RainShadow, and what I'm going to do is something which I specialise in back home, is getting the basics right. It's like anything when you start out, you have to understand the basics. And I'm just going to do a very simple thread wrap and how to start. To give you a good insight to how to do this, I'm going to start with some very thick cord, which if I put it against my hand, it's probably just slightly thinner than parachute cord. All right, so we've got a nice thick piece of blank here. You can use a broom handle or something similar when you're starting out. Over the top, bring it over and cross over. Finger and thumb, just turn a couple of times. And 3 times is enough to lock it in place, and then you can just continue. Now this little tag end you would now trim off, but just for this demonstration I'm going to leave it there because the material's not easy to cut. You continue as far as you want, then about 7 turns before you finish, you would put in your tie-in loop, and that's a short length of the same wrapping thread, like so. Tuck it in and under the turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. Do have a blade. Cut the end. Now the loose end goes through the eye, like so, and keeping your thumb on the back of it so it doesn't loosen off, just pull that down. Trim the end off and pull at a 45-degree angle, and there you have a basic wrap. You will use this to put it on all your guides, starting off more exotic thread work as you get more experience. Play with this several times until you're very comfortable with it. Once you're comfortable with it, you can then go to the next stage. And what I'm going to do now is move along this actual rod blank to something which is just a little thinner. And when you have the experience with the thick thread, we'll start using a commercial rod wrapping thread. And this is a size D. Put it on my arm, you can see the thickness of it. Again, we start exactly the same. Over. Do your crossover. Just hold it until you've got 3 turns and keep going. Now this time I'm going to cut our end off. Now you can see I've cut the tag end off. We will cover that in thread. As far as we want. We're now ready to tie off. Again, loop in the same material, same thickness thread. Tuck it under the last turn. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got to 6, so let's do to 6. Finger to anchor. Cut the end. through the loop, pull it and it's locked. Trim the end, pull through, done. And then one thing I say about rod builds is we need thumbnails, because we can then just gently tidy this up so it's nice and compact. Start with the thick, come down to a D thread. That will give you, you'll get more and more experience, and then eventually you take the plunge and you start working with tip sections. I'm going to turn this whole blank round. And come down to the tip section of this rod. And now we're going to work with A thread. Again, this is slightly thinner than the D thread of the last orange wrap. No different, it's exactly the same. Thread over, round, cross. 1, 2, 3, 4. Locked it in place, it's not going to come undone. Trim our tag end off. Got as much thread as we need. Get the loop. Loop is under the thread. Same process each time. And then we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anchor it. Put it through. Put it down to the edge. Lock. There it is. Trim the end. And pull at 45 degrees. And there we are. Now I'm just going to use my thumbnail just to tidy it and pack it. There we go. A very quick demonstration of how to start a wrap. It is one of the most basic parts of rod building and one of the most important skills to learn, and practice until you get it right, because your rods will look fantastic when you get it right. Thank you very much from the Rod Doctor.